Just ignore that. It's normal. Okay, you ready? On time?
Sure, I'll count you down.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so this is Octodad. This game is stupid. It's great though. The whole thing is basically just a physics engine, and the entire speedrun is just an abuse of said physics engine. Most of the levels, well, I guess not most, but a lot of the levels we just kind of do intentionally. This is one of them, except we fly glitch here, but you know, don't worry about that. I'll get to that in a minute. The gist is that you just want to go through the levels quickly. Some of the levels have some pretty big sequence breaks, some skips and stuff. But the first two specifically don't really have anything big. You just kind of have to do stuff fast.
And you put that suit on really fast.
Yeah, I just clicked it. All I had to do was touch it with my hand and it was on. But most of these objectives are just kind of, you know, menial things. Oh, he dropped the bow tie, of course. Where is it? Put it on. Put the bow tie on. There you go. Got to get it in front of the body. So the thing about Octodad is that I call it the most random game that doesn't actually have any RNG at all, because every time that you do any input, your entire body jiggles based on that input. So it can be really, really inconsistent, which can make for some really, really difficult tricks. Specifically, there's two tricks in the run that are very unreliable. Pretty much everything else is straightforward. The fly glitch for sure is consistent. But the fly glitch will really come into play in the world of kelp, which is once we get to the aquarium. For now, we're just being a regular human father, of course, getting our coffee ready because we just woke up. And then our lovely daughter wants to get some chocolate milk, so of course we're gonna, you know, get it to her. There you go, just drench her, it's fine. Some got in the cup, that's all you need. The hardest part of this level is coming up now though. It's called burgers. This part really, really sucks because the consistency of like very minute movements is very bad because we actually have, damn it. we have the highest sensitivity set because that's the fastest, which makes it very unwieldy to control. As you can see, I'm like actually doing very, very small movements and it's just jumping around like crazy. But that wasn't the worst burgers, aside from dropping them all on the floor. There we go. This level can it can definitely be a pain, but it's not too bad. The worst level is probably, I would say, the last one, because you actually do have to rely on some luck in order for the fast strat to work. It works most of the time, but every now and then you'll just get a run where it just doesn't work at all. But this part sucks really bad because I have to specifically control this lawnmower to have the blades run over these tufts of grass, which is not an easy task at all. And there is a very slight speed strat in the chore after this one with the wood chopping, but it's so hard to set up that it's actually just not worth trying to set up because you'll almost certainly just waste too much time. Basically, the gist is, get the grass. All right, the gist is like once you start wood chopping, all it cares about is whether the blade of the axe is actually touching a piece of wood on the stump. So if you can actually lay the blade of this axe onto the stump, then it'll instant chop and you won't have to grab the axe. But the normal way is basically you have to grab the axe between every chop. Okay. And now grab the axe. There you go. And then the wood. Nope. The axe, please. Thank you. And so in case you're actually worrying about the incredibly deep lore that I'm skipping when I'm skipping all these cutscenes, the general idea is that guy is Chef. And for some reason he thinks you're an octopus. I don't actually know why, because you're a regular human father, but he really wants to eat you, which is weird. I don't get it. So every level he's pretty much after you. Honey. So in this level, this is the grocery store. This is the one of my least favorite skips because it's very much reliant on the physics engine. The general idea is I get my hand, I jam it into this wall, and it either clips through or it doesn't. And if it clips through, we got the skip. If it doesn't, we didn't. You can kind of control it. There's some strats to it, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't want to work, it doesn't want to work. And it looks like that's happening. Let me replace where my feet are. So right about now, I would actually be getting it if I didn't go for the skip. I'm actually half clipped, which is the worst possible outcome. It's very hard to recover from it. It sucks. Right before we actually went live, I got it a few times in a row. There we go. So I wasted 15 seconds there basically compared to if I just didn't go for it. And we grabbed that over the ledge because if you actually go into that aisle, the woman who's in the aisle will trigger a cutscene. And here, if you actually walk down at the base of the tower on either side, you'll trigger another cutscene. So the routing for this level is very much just avoid cutscenes as much as possible. Okay, there we go. This was obviously pretty slow because it took me so long to get the pizza skip, but that's okay. The next level has the other pretty big one that's inconsistent, and that's Ticket Proxy. But after those two are done, most of the skips are pretty straightforward and consistent, so hopefully no more choking. And there's a strat that I'm going to try, and it works pretty well. At the end here, once you've acquired all of your items, you're supposed to check out, and you can actually push them all over, because all it cares about is and I'm resetting checkpoint to skip a cutscene basically. All the game cares about is that the hitbox of these things go over that, and it looks like we missed chocolate milk and mango soda. I don't know if we can pick up mango soda. There we go. So I messed up and the camera also bugged. That's the problem with that strat, is that the camera can sometimes just reverse and make you do it blind. So this is the ticket proxy. You're supposed to take that coupon and exchange it for a ticket at this ticket booth, but instead we drop it, we wait for this guy to walk up, and we straddle the counter. And the general idea is that we're trying to do that. We're trying to, oh, I've never been stuck here before. This is interesting. I don't know if I can get out. Let's try.
Looks like it's his arm that's stuck on the P.
Maybe. Actually, can I take these off? I just saw that highlighted. I can't do this. Get me out of here. Oh, I'm like slightly falling. Let me, there we go. There we go, okay. I have never been stuck there before. That's bizarre. But basically, you intersect yourself with the ticket that the person is picking up, and the game is trying to dump you out of it because you're both solid objects, and that's not supposed to happen. And so it just picks a speed and flings you that direction, and you're kind of at the mercy of the game. But now we're pretty good. So this is fly glitch. Every time you do anything, it applies a force to your whole body, as I previously said. And it turns out that all of the forces combined can actually be enough to let you climb objects, like this slide. And this level is supposed to be like 3 minutes long, and that was the end. So it's a pretty good trick.
It's like a big circle where you go down the slide at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And for some reason, the end trigger is there. That's, I think, the only level that has the end trigger there from the very beginning. So conveniently enough, we skip a very annoying stage. This one doesn't have pretty much any skips, and is pretty boring. So I don't have much to say, unfortunately. What a good time for donations, right? Donations, right? That's what we're doing here. Yeah, go for it.
$5 from Ubergoose. Greetings from Germany. I was gonna buy a pack of cigarettes, so you know what? I'm gonna donate to this great cause. Hopefully this gets you better next time.
Good donation. Thanks for the donation. That was really nice.
And we can't hear, right?
Right. It's fine. The stream thinks I'm insane, but, you know, I am playing Octodad, so I don't think that was ever in question.
Good dancing, Dad. I tried to dance like you and hit my head.
Yeah, this is DDR. The only one that matters is the very last panel. As long as you hit it on the first frame, you did the whole section as fast as possible. And the last panel is this one. So I just stand there and it works.
Frame perfect.
Yeah. And then we have to grab a light and go down into the dark depths. This part can be kind of annoying. So my general route is to try and get Stacy to follow me as closely, because once she gets to about where I am now, it'll change the objective any day now, if you would like to do that. So this is her being a jerk. What are you doing? I'm so confused. Why does nothing work? What are you doing here? So I'm supposed to be able to give the light to her. She's supposed to be like, hey, give me the light. All right, let me try resetting checkpoint. I think something bugged. Where am I? Oh, there I am. There we go. Now she wants the light. Told you it was going to be a trainer. Although in fairness, the things that I've lost time to, I couldn't really control.
Give me the shaky light. Thanks, Dad.
And this room is the plug room. You have to plug in 4 things, and obviously we just know which ones go where. But it's in the dark until your daughter Stacy shows up. But he's trying to turn on the lights and not get trapped in plugs. Okay. Oh, don't drop it. So that's another part of the run. In order to actually do fly glitch, we need very specific settings. Basically, we need physics set to low and our sensitivity set to the max in order to do fly glitch. Technically, you can fly glitch with lower than max sensitivity, but the sensitivity will increase the speed of it. But you do need low physics, and low physics means that sometimes you'll grab something and he'll immediately drop it, which sucks. Which is, again, part of the inconsistency. And here I'm just going to trigger the cutscene and load. Skip some cutscene time, or hit it. I'll just wait this time. This level of acting a bit weird, but that's Octodad for you. Unfortunately, it's like so hard to actually get any consistency down with Octodad. You know, a lot of very specific things to happen. So now I'm just waiting for Stacy to trigger the end of the level.
And this is a daddy that can do the splits pretty perfectly.
Yeah. So coming up is my least favorite level of the run. No matter how many times I practice it, I'm actually just really bad at it. The biggest issue is air hockey Matt, which is this guy right here. I'm a god. Okay, so normally that's really, really hard for me, but that's the fastest game to do. You need to get 7 toys and bring them to your wife Scarlet. And air hockey Matt is by far the fastest, but he's very inconsistent. So generally I'll just toss one, I'll hit the puck one time and then just move on to the pachinko. And pachinko is pretty consistent unless something bugs out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not cheating. It's okay. I'm allowed to cheat. I'm a father. So give that toy. And so there's the situation. So low setting or low physics just made me let go of that out of nowhere. Don't put your foot in there. So the prizes come out. So yeah, basically the route that we do, including air hockey Matt, is just the general fastest route through the fastest 7 toys. And there's one spot coming up which will either work or not. And if it works, it'll save a chunk of time. And if it doesn't, it really won't lose any time at all. Basically, the Whack-A-Neel, it's on a set timer before you get your prize. All you need to do is get 4 though. So if you can get 4, which we're not going to be able to do, not on the right cycle. Generally you want 4 on the second cycle. But then you can start giving these toys to Scarlet before the cutscene, or you could drop them. Jesus.
I've always wondered what you did in that.
Low physics is really messing me up in this one. And there's one more spot where low physics in this level can really mess you up. That's coming up. So I grab a toy early. Basically what's going to happen, this springs a leak, and then I plug it with my hand briefly. More holes pop open, and then toys are going to fall from the ceiling, and I'm supposed to use them to plug it. But I brought a toy with me, so I can immediately use it. Which just saves a little bit of time. Not a huge amount, but it also allows you to have duplicate toys plugging stuff. There we go. And the toys that you use don't really matter. I think the worst one is probably the pink seahorse, because the way it goes into the hole is straightforward, and it can make you just drop it really easily, or clip your hand into the tank, which has happened numerous occasions. So now we're supposed to get to the top of the shark tank. The camera's actually gonna look to where it wants us to go, but because we can fly, we're obviously not gonna do that. Instead, we're just gonna, come on, go back to your mortal plane. There you go. Then just swing over to the cutscene. So this next level coming up has one speed strat, which has literally no consistency because nobody's gotten it except for me, and I've now gotten it twice. Basically what happens is at the very end of the level, you're supposed to swing a dinghy on this boat into Chef. Let's see if I can get box skip. Ooh. Okay, there we go. So that skips a huge chunk, just walking around that box, but sometimes it can be finicky. It depends on how the boat is actually rocking, whether it's easy or hard. So, turn the boat on, or the crane on, swing the dinghy over. Hopefully you didn't turn the wheel too much. Cool. Breaks the boxes. I actually have to go kind of under the dinghy to prep this cutscene trigger. If I don't go under the dinghy, this cutscene actually doesn't trigger. So I'm gonna slide right through. Okay, I didn't get the weird fast strat, but I did get the cutscene skip. If you go too slow there, Chef will have a cutscene where he's basically looking at you and Scarlet, calling you stowaways. But if you go fast enough, you can skip it completely. And this is the worst part of the run. You have to basically just hard mash your use button for about a minute and a half. There's a couple spots where you pulse it, like here. If you go too fast here, you'll actually die. But it's fastest to mash in this level if you are on easy difficulty, which I am. Because for some reason on easy, you actually just move generally faster than higher difficulties. And so that means on this level, you can just mash and maintain top speed.
On the highest difficulty, can you still use the flag glitch?
Yeah. Flag glitch doesn't matter about, the difficulty doesn't matter for flag glitch. Okay, so we got first cycle, which hopefully if we time it right, nice. So this should be a pretty fast one. There's two pretty, oh, we bonked. Two pretty good times to aim for. When you bonk on those fans, yeah, when you bonk on those fans, it's actually really hard to not bonk on the later ones. So if you can just slide through though, you can actually get through with just one glide. And I have a bunch of things bound to use. So in this case, because my thumb is tired, I'm gonna switch to alternating shoulders. But this should be like it'll definitely be under 130 for the level time. And it is a 129? Yeah, 129. So this level is pretty cool, Silent but Dadly. I'm gonna fly glitch, and then I'm gonna move a leg and then immediately fly glitch, and this actually is gonna let me go out of bounds because the game spawns you in an out of bounds box. There we go. And I think I actually went far forward enough that I unloaded this room. Yeah, so I unloaded this room, which means no cutscene trigger, and also there's supposed to be stuff all over the floor, which I'm actually climbing on the collision of one of them. But we're almost done. We're coming up on the final level. Getting the trader turn. So this final level, there's one specific thing. I don't know how well I'll be able to articulate it, but it will depend on luck, so hopefully it goes well. Well, actually, kind of two things. Hopefully I don't fall off the rafters. Good. We'll plant it on them. And then we'll walk over here, and what that'll do is... yeah. Okay, we failed. So Chef is supposed to actually break the rafter, and now I'm going to let myself fall onto the floor, because this fire won't kill me if I pass through the kill wall. Damn. So Chef's not cooperating. Basically what I'm doing is I'm going over here to the trigger where Chef speeds up, is running, and then he's in the back tearing it up and hitting things, and if you're lucky, he hits something into the rafter that you're supposed to knock down, and it'll knock it down, trigger all the cutscenes at once, and you can move straight to this last bit pretty quick.
Take this. Shove it in.
But unfortunately, it didn't happen twice in a row, so just kind of sucked. And after this one, get ready on time. Just got to plug this spout and touch Chef once he's inside of a fish
This
lantern.
thing is gonna blow.
And time.
1837.
1837, really? I did not expect that. All right, cool. So my in-game time, you can actually see in the top left, is 17:38, but that's not actual in-game time. It skips some parts and includes some others that aren't supposed to. So when we run this, we actually have to time out the loads ourselves, but I mean, that's an okay time. So that's Octodad. It's kind of ridiculous. Pretty fun game.